there, folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Rihanna.
Hello.
And we are going to be talking about the holidays of Tellest today, which ought to be a lot of fun. We have a couple of holidays that we know about, and we'll be exploring thanks to some collaborators in the past, and thanks to a short story that we wrote earlier, a couple of other short stories that we've written as well. So, Rihanna, would you like to start us off, or do you want to go to some established stuff to give you some time to think up some stuff?
Well, first of all, we're kind of riffing here and like kind of thinking up what would be the Tellest holidays. So just to preface that, we're making stuff up as we go.
Sometimes
on everything other than the established ones, but also like defining holiday. Like we're talking Bank of Adelatha closed national holidays, right?
Yes.
For these purposes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not Old Man Hizzard's foot fungus toe Thursday.
Yeah.
Everyone, come gather. I've got something important to show you.
So not a isolated event. These are the big ones.
Yep.
All right. So then go into.
So, Starlight Gathering comes to us from one Kevin Michael Gallagher, aka That Nerdy Kev. He developed this map for the festival contest that was going on for Inkarnate a while back, and we'll take a little deeper dive into this. You'll see these are some floating islands. You can tell that they're floating because of the way they are. The ships underneath, you can see that they're sailing underneath the islands, so that's your clue that this stuff is going on. I don't think maybe that one is a floating ship. I think most of these are regular sailing ships beneath. These might be little ferries because you can see like the little propellers and stuff like that. But the main thing about it is Kevin's world that he's building is kind of fantasy meets Star Wars. Not that Star Wars isn't already fantasy anyway, but more fantasy. So it kind of marries those things, kind of like the Spelljammer campaign, I suppose, in or the Spelljammer scenario in D&D. So, you know, airships and stuff like that. But in any case, the Starlight Festival, the Starlight Gathering, as it's called, is just a chance to look to the skies and marvel at the majesty that are the stars.
So would this be? So is it any particular event, or would this sort of be like any of the entities that are sort of fueled by like celestial power or interested in it would just be able to?
I feel like the Starlight Gathering is probably not a yearly event, right? It's not like an annual event or anything like that.
So maybe it's dictated by like celestial events, like a meteor shower, or
it could be something like that. And to that extent, maybe it is more along the lines of, you remember in World of Warcraft when they had the Dark Moon Festival, where like
vaguely
it would show up in like a couple of different places. I kind of think it's like that, almost like the Cirque du Malorum in the Tellest universe
sort of a pop-up festival.
Yeah, like a traveling carnival almost.
I do like the idea of it being a traveling carnival, but traveling with the
celestial events.
So like the larger or like the rarer the celestial event, the bigger the festival. So like you have kind of like an idea of how many people are going to be there and what's going to go into it.
Good news, people! An asteroid is going to blow up our planet!
Hooray! No, I think that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And they sell star-shaped cakes on sticks.
I like the idea of star cakes.
Star cakes?
Don't they have star cakes?
I don't know.
I feel like they have star cakes.
Well, now we have star cakes in Tellest.
Star cakes in Tellest, star cakes.
Look it up. That's bold of you to
star cakes.
Look up something on a live stream.
Not chocolate star cakes, mind you.
Oh God.
I was thinking like little cupcakes, like little Debbie's. Like a little Debbie's. All right, let's move to, this is the most established festival that we have. We first were introduced to the Ancestor Festival in Bixby Aloysius and the Ancestor Festival. We definitely grew it up a lot over the years. I think the story...
Is that our tent?
It is our tent.
Cute.
I'll get into the nitty gritty in just a second. Ancestor Festival. Let's see when this story came out. This was 8 years ago now. Well, it'll be 8 years this October.
Wow.
Bixby and the Ancestor Festival. I'm disappointed that it wasn't Bixby Aloysius and the Ancestor Festival. So we based this map on the Renaissance Fair that we first ever vended at. It takes place in Fonthill Castle.
Yep. Doylestown.
So Doylestown had a Renaissance Fair last September, August, thereabouts.
August. Late August.
It was both. It was August into September. It was both months.
Oh yeah, because was it Labor Day weekend or something?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct that it was. So what we tried to do was the biggest map set that we'd ever made thus far, with the exception of, I guess, Versailles Garai is only 6 maps, but the Forgotten Keep, it's got 4 wings, so it'll be 12 maps eventually. Right, three floors. I think this is still technically bigger now because we've only done 3 floors or 3 wings of the Forgotten Keep so far. But anyway, this is a 3x3 map, which makes it currently the biggest map that we have, and we definitely did our best to kind of capture the feeling of the fair that we went to.
Kind of, yeah.
Yep.
Especially with the setup and where our little wand tent is.
Yep.
So the Ancestor Festival is obviously like a Day of the Dead sort of situation where you're honoring your ancestors.
Yep, you'll see a lot of skeletal... Skulls. Yeah, lots of skulls, lots of skeletons. I think in a lot of cases, right now, you're not seeing things too high def because it's, again, a big map that's being kind of displayed kind of small. We've got a lot of, like... This is where you try and knock over cups, and then you get multicolored skulls as toys or presents or whatever like that. There's a skull theme on the Ferris wheel that I built. Yeah. So, do you remember the
and a
fortune
communer
teller
with the dead?
Yep. And a little Zen garden back here. Do you remember anything from the Ancestor Festival story?
Mm-mm.
So the whole shtick was. I think it was Dustside was the name of the town.
Did he knock over skulls or something and then...
No.
Okay.
No.
Then never mind.
You are incorrect, madam.
Wrong.
So the whole premise of the Ancestor Festival in Bixby's story was they actually had like skeletal remains that they preserved. In a lot of the cases in this, like the stuff that you're getting is fake. It's like you said, it's Day of the Dead themed,
right?
Not necessarily like actual like corpses or anything. But in the case of the story, it was, hey, these bandits knew how important these skeletal remains of our ancestors were, and they stole them. Can you go and get them for us? And Bixby's a hero, right? Like he's this hero who will not be abated. He will make sure that he gets things done right, and he runs against a group that he can't win against. Like legit, there's no way for it to happen, at least in the scope of the story that we came up with. For anybody who's unfamiliar with our book series, Bixby's power is that he can die again and again and again. So he determines another way to get them the things that they need is to kill him, so, to unalive himself.
Right.
Enough to present the corpses as the things that they had lost.
Right.
And he doesn't do that to himself. He fails enough where he's like, well, wait a minute.
Why am I trying to get these other skulls when I've got perfectly good me skulls right here?
I've got what I need.
That's kind of what I was going for with the recap, but yeah.
So again, we'll take a look real quick at this map just because it's cool. It's one that I spent a lot of time making. When we were actually experiencing our Renaissance Fair, there was like parking over in like this general area over here to the west. And we would come up and we would enter through this little area here, but there was a whole path that you could come in. We thought it would be kind of fun to make this kind of like a temporary parking area, and then a valet would come and take your carriage, maybe go a little bit further north or northwest, some kind of medieval parking structure.
Right.
And then there would be 3 entrances to this fair. This area over here, besides down here. This area over here. This main entrance to the castle, which at one point had served as a fort in, I don't know in real life, but certainly in the backstory of what we've got here. And then there's another entrance over here. We're going to enter over here because I want to. So we decided to make this set of tents a pair of brothers. Well, actually, like 4 brothers who sell various like antiquities and artifacts that they find, and it's inspired by our brother-in-law. His brothers have a restaurant in Philadelphia called Bad Brother, and this is the Bad Brother artifacts vendor.
I love it.
Down
If
here,
you're
just
in the Philadelphia area, Bad Brothers Restaurant, check it out.
really
They're
good food.
not paying us to say that. It is from the honesty of my own heart.
Not a sponsor? Could be. We've got just some regular vendors every now and then strewn about. We've got some fireworks. We got a
Pony rides.
I just realized I did okay. More vending area. This is kind of like what you would typically see at like a fair. You've got like merchant stalls and stuff like that. A nice big stage show. You can see these. The skeleton of the dragon has like little poles on it so that the performers can lift it into the air and puppetry. This poor person has candles and they actually accidentally lit their tent on fire.
Nice touch.
Here's all the foods. Got lots of foods. This area is food prep. So
I imagine with a day the ancestor festival, there's be a lot of meat on bones.
Yes. Quite. I think there's lots of ribs and stuff like that here and there, but and then we've got I never explored it yet, but we've got like a basement level on this place as well. I think I might have made a second floor and like a variant as well. And then you figure for the little ones, we've got a little puppet show, some music stuff, and like some drawing stations.
You're so cute.
I'm adorable.
He made a kid area. That is adorable.
I am the cutest man. Again, these are like the throw, knock down the cups stuff, some toys. There's like a horse, like one of those horse head stick things.
Hobby horse.
Hobby horse. That's what we'll call it.
That is a genuine sport now.
Hobby
horsing.
Hobby horsing around.
Look it up if you want to laugh.
Again, we already showed the fortune teller. For some reason, this was the only one that I wanted to do the clipping mask and like show what was going on inside.
Well, it's an important piece of the event.
Piece off.
Show our area.
We're getting there.
Oh my God.
At the Ferris wheel that I'm proud of.
Okay,
this Ferris wheel looks really
nice.
cool. More vendors, some more food distribution, some pastries, some vegetarian fare. A carpet salesperson. I don't know if these are tables or if they're umbrellas. I haven't decided. I feel like they both kind of work.
It was probably an umbrella, but I'm gonna say for the sake of like medieval authenticity, it's a table.
No, I think you can kind of see the table underneath.
Yeah.
Right, but like it almost looks like it's a table. So, some herbs and spices. The blacksmith. We've got some wine cellars. And then as you come this way, you see our second stage. Again, skeletons kind of displayed, but this is the coup de grace.
The wand area.
Talk about it.
Okay, I was reaching for my water first. You stealing my stuff. You're cramping my style. So those are the ones that we sell. This was inspired by the location of our tent at the actual Renaissance Fair.
Yeah, we were facing the other way, like we would have been over here, but I thought the stage area looked better over here.
Yeah, we wanted to see the show. And obviously our setup was not that large, but we're going to inflate our importance for this event.
It's important.
Magical wares are very important at any sort of festival.
Mm-hmm. So you'll notice 3 important things on these tables. The big drawing piece of the day was Rihanna's wands, but we also have some books and we also have some maps. And also we have your little chest with the little trinkets.
I love it. It's so detailed.
And actually, like, in this general area, there was, like, axe throwing and archery and stuff like that, too. I also made, like, 2 little whack-a-mole stations.
Cute.
And, like, a test of strength, like, hit the thing, hear the ding.
Hit the thing, hear the ding.
Mm-hmm. Some more toy sellers and some, like, pirate-themed kind of stuff. But that's our Ancestor Festival. Let's real quick take a break. We'll go to our sponsors, and then we'll come back and we'll look at another couple of stuff. And now, a word from our sponsors. Brought to life by Science Magic is a great way to describe author R.J. Gould's prose debut, Cyberknight and the Hand Puppet Commandos. Reminiscent of classic toys-to-life stories like The Indian in the Cupboard and Small Soldiers, this sci-fi adventure is great for teens and preteens, as well as those who still hold a place for childlike whimsy in their heart. It's also lightly academic, with information about the world and what may lie beyond our stars. Gould is hard at work on not just 2 follow-up novels, but a graphic novel and a movie script that will hopefully bring this brand to life even bigger than ever. If you've been looking for a sci-fi that will bring some joy to your reading nook, don't wait. Check out our promo for Cyberknight and the Hand Puppet Commandos origin story on the Tellest website. A spectacular whirlwind adventure that mystifies as much as it enthralls readers, Raymond Duane's Quinine is the sort of epic fantasy that most people would have a hard time dreaming of. Yet, the author has done much with this universe, establishing foundational pieces of rich lore, religious history and prophecy, and wrapping it all together in a package that makes it feel like some of the best pulp fantasy of yesteryear. Indeed, there is a way that Quinine is presented that makes it feel as though this hero has been around for decades. Despite the classic feel, though, it is also wild in its imagination, with blended species bringing a sense of alien majesty to the world, which just so happens to be the massive hand of the goddess.
Can you hear me?
If you'd like to learn more, head over to the Tellest website, where you'll be able to find our promotion for Quinine by Raymond Duane.
It's not good.
It's not good. And we're leaving it in there for everybody.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Thanks the boobs.
It's okay. He's my husband.
We'll go look at the Pirate Festival next. This was, again, we decided to kind of throw these together because we were celebrating the Inkarnate stuff that was going on. And Becca Tigris was the one who made this. And just a nice little pirate-themed festival where, people can come together and trade and tell stories and stuff like that. Maybe, devolve into a huge battle.
Madness, swashbuckling.
Just got
Madness ensues.
that one guy who's like, that's not a firework, that's a cannon. Yeah!
Speaking of fireworks, so that's been like kind of the common thread with all the festivals. So firework business in Tellest is lucrative, I would say.
So the funny thing is, too, like, at this point, gunpowder hasn't really been discovered. I mean, they have, I guess to some extent they have, right? They had the dragon dust in the second Tellest book.
I mean, regardless, it's alchemy. Like, it would be something that you would be able to put together, maybe like
right. And these fireworks might not be like traditional fireworks.
Right.
They might be like a wizard nearby is casting these spells that make them look like
Gandalf's crazy fireworks with the dragon and whatnot.
And that was what actually inspired Matt's, which we'll look at in a few minutes too. But
or maybe like a Lumabug drone show. Maybe
I like that. You just got a wizard who has a ball of sugar that he's congealed together, and he's having it go around the sky, and the Lumabugs are like, ooh.
And they're following it into position. I like that a lot. We'll work that into something.
Here is the last map that we have based on...
Oh, cool! That is the dragon over there.
Yep, so the question is, because it's a shadow, is it a real dragon? Is it, a facsimile that, they're using to express... whatever it is. The event itself is called the Tranquil Skies Festival. So it's peace in the skies, basically. Is it like Dragon Speaker, where like they have a dragon guardian, or is it ironic and they're like, yeah, the skies are peaceful, all of our crap, there's a dragon in the middle of our peaceful skies festival.
I kind of like it as a festival to honor the dragons that protect their skies.
Right, so it's kind of Dragon Speaker-esque.
Cool. Yeah, exactly. I think that would be a really neat point of a festival to kind of, honor the dragon who protects you, if that's the case, really. Yep. And maybe it's like one of those cultural things where, like, if we pay homage to the dragon, it won't kill us.
They have treasure hoards for a reason. So, one of the things that I did want to highlight in this map is Matt did a really good job with the shadows and everything. Inkarnate makes it easy to do that, but like you can tell, like he was paying a lot of attention to that.
I made this comment before about Matt's maps. I do feel like there's a authenticity to like his, because it feels like there's not a structure. If that makes sense. Like it's like it almost seems like it was accidentally planned.
Yeah.
Like how it looks, and because of that it's organic feeling.
Yep.
Like the placement of the trees and stuff, it's not like we're gonna do one color here, one color here, one color here, and it's all going to be uniform.
It doesn't feel designed, it feels discovered.
Ooh, look at you, you little wordsmith.
Yeah, I smith some words.
And I like the idea of it having like a central bonfire, sort of like a fire dragon,
right,
honoring situation.
Did you have any festivals or holidays that you wanted to talk about? Now, this is only volume 1, so we have plenty of.
So my ideas were doing like, a Convergence Day or the Fall Day,
something
or
that celebrated like the memorial of big events in the Tellest universe.
And I think that there's, that's one of those unifying things, because when I think of holidays, I think of unifying
things that bring people together.
Right. And then I also think of seasons, because historically, not just like Christian calendar things, but like you always have in most cultures that have winters and springs and stuff, you're going to have a winter festival of some kind, you're going to have a spring festival of some kind, you're going to have a summer festival of some kind, where that falls. Oh, and a fall festival. But like where it falls on the Tellest timeline is really going to depend on like what their seasons look like. What would we've established that there's a Christmas adjacent holiday in Tellest.
Yeah, Kev has actually written 2 stories about the Christmas adjacent holidays. So his main character at the time, these stories might not really exist in the Tellest universe as we know it anymore, because we've updated the timeline so many times at this point. But he wrote The Night Before Wintertide, which is more like traditional Christmas, and then The Night Before Nadeus, which was more like we'll call it Christo-fascist. It was kind of messy. So the main character's father was very like, hey, down with everybody else. Okay. It was to kind of show you that like this character that you liked could have characters in his life that were not well liked. Right. We kind of, I think, in the new timeline strayed away from that, maybe for good reason. There are evil characters in the world, and sometimes there are people that are very close to us.
Right.
But I thought that there was maybe more subtle ways to do that than to have like a whole story dedicated to, yeah, we like Christmas, but we like Christmas without the dwarves and the elves and stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, especially because elves are so Christmassy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not the Tellest elves. The Tellest elves are the tall parties.
And they're Christmassy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the gnomes are also... Or wait, is it the gnomes or the...
Well, we've had all 3 of them. We've had dwarves, elves, gnomes, and giants. In the Christmas stories that we've told.
Yep, I like those. But yeah, I think that there should also be a festival exclusively dedicated to magic. Like, the strain Strain's Day.
Strain's Day.
I don't know.
Straining Day.
Straining Day. But like something to honor like the force that gives them their power.
I could see a story being written around that where, like, obviously the whole shtick between like the Tellest, powered people is very kind of similar to the X-Men.
Right.
So I could see them doing something. It'd be like the Genosha thing that just happened, where like people would be celebrating the strain and everything like that, and
but then others would be like, do we want all these powerful people in the one
converging in one area, or hey, it's great that all these people are converging in one place, let's kill them all.
Right.
And the other cool thing about the strain compared to like the X-Men is that the strain affects more than just people. Like, it affects places, it affects items, it affects like flora, animals, stuff like that.
So the festival would not just be honoring powered people; it would be honoring the strain itself, like the mutation or whatever that gives them the power.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be an interesting one. And then, I mean, we can in future volumes we can go over. There's like different religions, for lack of a better word, in Tellest, like different groups that would have specific holidays.
Yeah.
I think we can get into those as well.
Yeah, I mean, so far, like, there's nothing in the set that we've really looked at that explores what would a Logano holiday look like?
Right.
What would a Kaja holiday look like?
What would they be celebrating during those holidays?
Yeah.
And then the people who believe in the gods of Tellest, which, for anyone who doesn't know, the gods of Tellest are real entities, like they exist. Each of them would probably have their own day as well.
Yeah.
And I think in medieval times it was pretty common to have is that on?
The audio?
Yeah. Just check.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay. All right,
we were just hidden.
Got it.
So
I think it's pretty common in medieval times. He's tickling me, people. Like, they had a lot of holidays. Like, they didn't just have, like, what do we have? Like, the big 6 in this country, and then, like, 12 overall that, like, a lot of people recognize. But, like, I'm pretty sure they had holidays, like, multiple times a month.
Right. It was an opportunity for everybody to get together to feast for the sake of feasting, not to party, but to, like, hey, let's make sure we survive this season.
Right. Exactly. And it was one of those things where it gave people, like, the morale to keep, living and serving their landlords and whatever else they did. But I would imagine Tellest would be much of the same. Like, if you have a society that's, well, especially in Adelatho, where it's multicultural, you're going to be having something, like, every other week, really.
It's true. And you're definitely going to have people like us who'd be like, I just went to a party last week.
Right, I don't want to go.
I need this weekend to myself.
I just want to lay in bed and hang out with my dogs, okay?
Let me play solitaire.
Right.
All right, well, that, I think, is going to wrap us up for Volume 1. Do you have any other stuff that you want to add, or? No. All right, let's go to our show closing page. Folks, on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest out there on the internet. Tellest.com is a great first place to start because it'll bring you to all of our other projects when we throw them up there. We have a couple of premium sites that you're definitely going to want to check out. Patreon.com/Tellest is the place that you can go to get all of our maps all at once for a very low price. I think the lowest price you can see, like the free versions, the low res previews for, well, free. $5 will get you high-res gridded and gridless maps, and then if you give us $10 a month, we'll get you tons and tons of variants of the maps as well. And we just released commercial license options at the $15 and $20 levels, I think. That sounds about right. So you can use our maps, our assets, in adventures that you create as long as you are a patron with us. We also have the Etsy store with tellest.etsy.com. That's where you can find physical versions of our maps. We're kind of putting them on pause briefly because our vendor in Taiwan is out of stock for the base product, so we're waiting for them to replenish their store. Battlemapfantasy.com is where you can go to get drive-through RPG versions of our maps. We have 160 some maps on DriveThruRPG now, and we've got like 3 a week coming for the next however long. And I think we're going to try to do our best to bundle like 100 of them together for a nice low price for people. The Kickstarter definitely was nice, but we're going to try and make things affordable for everybody else as well. We've got 2 TikTok channels that you should check out. TikTok.com/@WeirdWhicOnes is where you're going to be able to find all of Rihanna's handcrafted magic stuff.
Yes, and that is going to get a renaissance in the coming weeks.
Mm-hmm. Rihanna's been working very hard on wands, needle felt, lots of stuff. And she's going to have more time because she got summarily dismissed at work. They said, we don't want you here no more.
No, I resigned. I put in my resignation so that I can try and pursue art full time.
Yep. If anyone can do it, you can do it.
Oh, thank you.
And then at Tales of Tellest is the other TikTok channel. That's where you can check out our doggies. I'm kind of disappointed our sleepy doggie didn't have a tantrum.
But she has plenty of them for you to view on Tales of Tellest.
She's got a video that went pretty popular lately where I was spinning her around in my lap. And maybe that was the reason that she did a tornado yesterday. She had to wind the other way.
I like it.
And then the last couple of places that we'll bring your attention to, youtube.com/@worldoftellest is where you can find all of our videos long after they're gone from Twitch. But twitch.tv/thattellestguy is the only place that you can go to catch us live, chat with us, rack up some channel points. We've got some really cool stuff coming with Quantum Quest soon, where you're going to be able to involve yourself in that game that we play online even more. And we might have another tabletop game that we'll be talking about a lot more soon as well, especially with Too Many Games coming out in June of this year. So stay tuned for more information on that. But in the meantime, we're going to get ready to close up shop. I got some voice stuff that I got to wrap up, but we'll see you next time, and
we'll miss you.